Hi everyone, this is your host Shreya Salyan, the founder of Sing, going to invite a very special guest tonight to have a conversation with Sayuri. She is a Lumpus warrior. She is an incredibly confident young woman pursuing her dental and shining her platform to encourage many more people to feel courageous. And also she does a lot of creative content skits and dances to encourage more to be um, confident and shine how and who you are. So I'll be welcoming Sayuri in a moment. Till then, make sure there's background music or song as I try reaching out. And as we invite her, I'm very new to this, so this is the first time I will be um, doing the Instagram live. So please be patient. I think we'll have to wait for a couple of people to join in. Okay. On. Hello.
Hi,
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I think we'll have to wait for a couple of followers to start
Yeah,
joining.
sure. I'm
Yeah,
excited for this.
me too. Uh, to anyone that's watching, you can give us a thumbs up, a hi, hello, or hearts.
Yeah,
All right. Uh-huh. So this live is not only for us to share our experience, but also for you, the users, to ask us a couple of questions. You can check below. There is a question
hmm.
bubble where you can ask your questions so we can answer the doubts you have in mind. We kept this open so that we can connect with you and have you ask anything that you would like to ask us. You have anything that you would like to also share or any inputs, you can definitely let us know. And thank you so much, Sayuri, for joining and supporting me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for actually, giving me this platform to talk about it.
Yeah, and I think it's been a couple of months since we connected and we've been talking.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what is your understanding of sync?
I think this is a very good platform. I mean, initially, obviously, I was not knowing about it, and then you approached me, and I felt like I actually have found a platform where I could speak about it, like what I was going through. I had nobody else to talk about it, so apart from my family members and my friends. But I think this is very important to create awareness. And yeah, I think what you are doing is a very great job, I feel.
Yeah, I hope many more people like you come forth and feel
Yeah,
the
yeah,
confidence actually speaking, where it is one thing I've realized with Sync is that it's many a times like you have your page, you have your platform in sharing, but it's more like you and the camera, and then
yeah,
there's nothing else. Like,
yeah, yeah. That's true. People
yeah,
actually they hesitate to talk about it because of a lot of reasons. But yeah,
yeah. And also it becomes, I feel this way it takes a little less burden because you're not putting so much pressure on yourself. You know, there's someone else as well, and you're like sharing it as well.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So I think we have couple of
People who have joined.
yeah, people who are joined. So those who have joined, can you please give us like a wave, a thumbs up, a hi, so we can like know that you're there.
Okay.
If not, we can just continue with.
Yeah. Okay.
So today I thought of asking right from the very basics, like a little intro about yourself. So just to give a heads up, Sayuri is absolutely a goddess. Uh, but for her, I will always do a shout out for her.
Thank you.
How I recognized her is through her journey videos, her dance, her small comic skits of showing what
Yeah.
is the everyday struggle with. And apart from this, she's also a dental student pursuing, and hats off the amount of things that you've been like, the amount of baggage that comes with this. So I wanted to ask you
Yes.
with the very start, how did you initially find out? Like, what was the first symptom, and at what age was this, and what phase of life you were in at that moment?
Okay. Yes. So I was diagnosed with lupus 2 years back in the year 2022 in the month of November. Initially, obviously, I was not knowing what was happening to me. I initial few days, so I completely ignored it. I like my initial symptoms were like I had like severe hair loss, but I thought it could be something external. And then I also started having rashes on my face. So there was just one rash before, and then eventually it turned out to be like so many rashes were there on my face. And that's when I was like, I just felt like this is not normal. And then I ended up showing to a lot of dermatologists. I visited almost 8 to 9 dermats, and not even one person actually diagnosed me with any of those. Like, nobody thought that it could be something more serious. Everyone thought it could be something external. And then there was this one dermat who was like, no, it looks something serious and you have to visit a rheumatologist. And that's when I ended up doing a blood test, and my ANA test was positive, and then I was diagnosed with systemic lupus. But then during that time also, I was not knowing anything about lupus. I have heard about other autoimmune conditions like psoriasis and rheumatoid arthritis and everything, but I never heard about lupus. So that's when my journey began with lupus. It's been almost 2 years now that I've been living this journey.
Wow. And were you at that time pursuing a dental or just applying? Like, how
Yeah,
was
so I was in my first year and I was about to give my first official university exam. And yeah, before a month ago, yeah. So my exam was in December and I
Mhm.
was diagnosed in November. So yeah,
You know what's really funny is that mine is also on the same month
November.
that I got myself, November 2022.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you said November, I was like, oh my God, even for me, it's like 2 years, and you don't even know how the year passes by.
Exactly. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even now, when I think, I'm like, shit, man, that is like.
Yeah. Yes.
To give a heads up, like many people, I like the word you said, this is not normal, because even I had similar symptom of like hair fall, and like my skin was getting like dull.
Yeah.
And to give you a heads up, mine is endometriosis for the users listening,
Yeah.
and has lupus. It's pretty invisible. I'm
It's a
sure
very
many cannot.
invisible condition, and it's very hard to explain to people also. It's an invisible battle which you're fighting within yourself. It's hard to explain to people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for me also, there was a lot of doctor visit, but it wasn't really for condition you would think of, because mine started with the leg. So I had leg triggers that started around, so it was just a very small pinch when it initially started, that I was abroad. So I'm so grateful that I came to India, because it happened there, and then I came here, and then COVID happened, and I'm meeting doctors after doctors where they couldn't figure out what was wrong. And one is like even called me like, you're hallucinating, because I told him it just
Hmm.
comes up from nowhere and it goes off. And it's not like I had any issue sitting or standing or
Yeah.
bending, because I could do all of
Hmm.
those. But suddenly when I'm driving, it just occurs. Suddenly when I'm walking, it just occurs, and it locks my leg. So it's very scary to be
Yeah.
around like people that don't really understand, like, why is my leg locking randomly, or why am I getting a shock? And
Yeah.
the doctors will tell one or the other thing, which was, one said probably meniscus cut, one said maybe I have tendon that is cut. But I did the physios, like rehabilitation physios, and I got it checked. One
Hmm.
said I had inflammation, and I was like, okay, if I'm having a high inflammation, what is it, like, for? And majority of the times when you go for something like that, they automatically assume like you're an athlete, or
Yeah. Yeah.
because the so
Yeah.
I was asked at least by 6 doctors, are you an athlete? Did you kick something? Did you fall somewhere? And I'm like, I have not had any of that. I
Hmm.
didn't fall anywhere. I didn't bang my leg anywhere. But I couldn't sleep at night. I used to wake up in the middle.
Yeah.
And when I wake up, it's excruciating pain. Like
Pain,
someone,
I know.
it's like someone took a needle,
Hmm.
like a needle, and just pierced it. And I love stretching. So when I sleep, you can call me like a little cat. I love stretching a lot. So even if I have to like wake up and stretch, it's like I feel like my bones are breaking and like getting like
Yeah.
fixed for a second.
I
So
completely understand this.
yeah, so when I checked, like from, you can say, 2020 to like 21 to like 22, and doing all these years of like
Yeah.
testing, to
Yeah.
finally in the ER because of food poisoning. And then the doc says, okay, just get all of this checked, to then figure out, okay, I have something called endometriosis. And um, unlike Sayuri, I did know the term actually, what endo meant. And I was a bit aware, and I always credit the UK for
Yeah.
doing this, because they were putting out an awareness around
Yeah.
choices at least
Hmm.
2-3 years back, because it's the second was gynecological issues. And when I had this pinch pain, I just randomly one night was Googling, and that's how I found out. And they had certain facts, and one of the facts really aligned to me. So one of the fact is, like, if you have puberty around, you can say early puberty, like 10 to 12 years or
Hmm.
13 years age, there are chances of having this, which was in my case like,
In your
okay,
case.
yeah, it was like, okay, I should be aware of
Aware
this.
about. Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't know too much detail. I just knew like they had told the kind of cycle you would get, and pretty much that was enough for me to read and be like, okay, dear God, may this not happen to anyone.
Anyone. Yeah. Yeah.
And when the doctor mentioned it to me, she just mentioned enough to just tell this diagnosis, tell how much the centimeter is. And if it goes more than the centimeter, I need a surgery. And that's it. Just discharged. And I will check upon you around 3 months down the line, 2 or 3 months. And I was like, okay, fine, you didn't tell me anything. So let me just carry on with life.
Yeah.
And so this is, I think, both of our experience and how we found out. One more thing, at what age? Around the age of 28, you can say 28, 20, yeah, 28. I was turning 29.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in such a mindset. So this one I want to ask you as well. In what certain mind state were you at that point of your life?
Well, I feel like I don't even want to recall that period of my life. It was really, really bad. And I even told you the other day, I was not having a good atmosphere. I was in extreme stress. I was extremely not happy with what is happening in my life. And I feel that is also one of the major cause why I am, my like all this while I feel like all these years throughout, I felt like I was normal. I was not in stress, but that very period, like those 6 months, I was in extreme stress, and that's what actually led to my diagnosis. So yeah, I feel this. So my mindset was really, really bad when I was diagnosed with it, and still I'm hoping that I'm in a better place now. I'm not denying that, but yeah, I think the journey is very, very difficult, and every day is a new day, and you have to like deal with it like the just go with the gut feeling. You have to you have to give priority to your body first, and then other things. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. So similarly, when I go back to that time, and I think similarly, like there was so many things going on in my personal and then fixing the professional life. In the same time, it is also about the body. So like I was very much focused into, I have to have a healthy body before I'm 30. I want to get everything in level, because I had a conversation with my cousin and she was telling me like a woman's body after 30 changes, so it's
Changes.
better to
Yeah.
have everything like fine.
Yeah.
Like working out, I was getting my weight in order and trying to change my diet as well. So I did change my diet before this, but there was also a lot of travel. And for those who don't know, when you travel, there's a lot of shift in what you're eating as well,
Yeah.
time change. And all of this, in the meantime, doing all of that. And even after all that, I just ended up being in like the ER. So, and when I think about it, the funny thing is, everything they say in endo to avoid eating, I had done in like a single week.
Yeah.
Like, uh, and when people, what people don't understand is when you say you go dairy free, it's not like you never had dairy.
Yeah.
Like, I've enjoyed and relished
Yeah.
everything I've
Yeah. Me
eaten.
too. Me too. Yeah.
I've had all the good
Yeah.
desserts.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's more like you're made a very conscious choice
Yeah.
now
We
onwards.
have to like, yeah, like that's how it has become now, that we have to make conscious choices about what we eat, especially what we eat. And I feel like including that, I feel like how your lifestyle is actually, I feel like the like at least in my case, I feel like that's what I have told myself, ki things which actually would like things or people who would give me stress, I'm just gonna stay away from them no matter what. And it's a conscious decision I have made for myself, and it's helping me. It's improving my condition, and that's what I want at the end of the day, because I'm on immunosuppressants, and as I mentioned before also, I am like consuming 8 to 9 tablets on daily basis. So for me, I want to get rid of all those tablets. It's very tiring. I am done with taking those tablets, getting admitted every month or whatever. So it's like I want to get rid of all those things, and for that, whatever I have to do, I'm gonna do it. So yeah.
Also, when when you got the news from the doctor that you had this,
Yeah.
how was your support system? How was it your surrounding? And yeah, what was your thoughts in that period at that
Period.
moment?
I think when I was diagnosed with lupus in the hospital, I was just having my mom with me, and I don't know. That initially the doctor was like, "Can you please go outside?" He actually asked me to go outside, and he was going to tell about my condition to my mother. I was so scared because from past 4 months I was suffering from this, not knowing what is happening inside my body. I could see a lot of changes inside me, and I was like, "No, I'm not going outside. No matter what it is, I want you to tell right in front of me, and I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to sit here." And that's when my mother was there with me. She was sitting next to me, and then the doctor, when he told about it, and my mother was there with me. So yeah, my biggest support system has been my mother. She's a strong pillar in my life, and I think apart from my mother, obviously my friends, I have only 2 to 3 friends who are like really good friends of mine, and thank God like they are there in my life. And also my brother was there, so yeah, these people have actually helped me. Even now they are helping me, but at the end of the day, I would just like to tell you that it becomes a little easier if you have people around you who understands you, but it's very rare. So it's just you have to make yourself understand that this is what you have gotten, this is what you can do, and you will come out of it. Okay, that belief thing you have to have in yourself, that you will come out of it. So even if there are no people, I mean, it's a good thing if you have people, but even if you don't have it, you have to have that confidence in yourself that you will get through this. So yeah,
Yeah, having a good support system really makes a
it
difference.
helps.
But
Yeah,
yeah, it helps in at least taking out that additional pressure or additional heavy weight, but it
yeah,
also like pushing yourself going forth
yeah,
to get um to get yourself out there to fix. It
yeah,
starts with the mind itself. And
yeah.
uh,
If you have that support system, it really helps. I also feel that, at least you have someone to let out your emotions to, someone to tell you that, oh yeah, I mean, this is what is happening, what am I supposed to do, and all that. So yeah, it really helps.
yeah, and it has divert also, because I feel like having these good
Yeah,
friends
yeah,
that are like, huh, okay, but then they also like make a very like jovial spirit around
yeah.
you.
They cheer
So
you up.
yeah, they cheer you up. They even cheer you for like the small accomplishments you did or the
Yeah,
little happy
that's
stories.
true. Yeah.
That's important. Yes, 100%. And in your case, was there any like any family member or any hereditary ties that you had with the condition?
See, my mom is having rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
So I feel like it is genetic. But yeah, all this while it was just not there, it wasn't remission, and it just got triggered, maybe I think because of the stress factor and a lot of other things. But I personally think it's all because of stress. But yeah, so yes,
Yeah.
genetics also has a lot to do. But I have seen people, who don't have any family history, but still they've been diagnosed with autoimmune conditions. There are so many of them. So yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like it's like कुछ भी factor हो सकता है.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mixed.
It's mixed. And yeah, I feel that stress is a major cause as well
Yeah,
sometimes, that it's not only a cause, it just aggravates it more.
it aggravates it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
true.
And yes, apart from that, in my case, yeah, it wasn't hereditary. I don't think anyone in my family has it. My mom did have like painful, she said painful period at a point, but not to an extent that it went like my case where you're just throwing up and you're like,
Yeah,
I cannot move at some times. And
cannot bear it. Yeah,
yeah, so in my case also, I've seen some who have it like hereditary and some not direct hereditary. It could be like
hmm.
maybe across, but some just known. Like it's just completely out of the blue, and it can appear in any age group as well. Like
Yeah,
maybe um not currently, but later on in life, 10 years down the line or so. And in some, but what they say is majority of them get it diagnosed like around 28 or 29 as the ideal age. So yeah,
yeah,
endo is quite it's like
yeah.
quite a bit. It's like, you had this, and then go ahead, live
Just
your life.
yeah,
Yeah, which
live your life.
new in 2 months and they don't even know what the heck it is, what it does, nothing. And in my case, when the doctor was there, my mom was also there with me. And I still remember very clearly, like, she asked me, how old am I? And I was like, okay, that's a funny question to ask me. Maybe she just wanted to keep a record of, like, the age and this.
Yeah.
And then to my mom and told her, I'll just get her settled down in life. And
Okay.
and I was just like, absolutely, like, did I hear that right? Like, is that what she told me?
Yeah.
And it blew my mind off for a second because I'm like, at that age, it's very familiar to hear it from like some aunties or,
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
neighbors. But just hearing it randomly when you're like trying to figure out what's going on in you and what is happening in you, and you're hearing this, like, excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little shocking. I mean, obviously, when someone tells you that, it's hard to believe,
Yeah.
but then later on, yeah, I mean, then you get used to it. But yeah.
Exactly. Like, I mean, that's not something I really thought would just come off like in a hospital where you're like, oh, I had this, and you're like, okay, maybe this treatment, maybe this or
Yeah.
something, or you got to do this or that. Not like, go get yourself married.
You're not prepared, right? I mean, obviously, who knows this would happen, or who knew this would happen to us?
Yeah, in my head, I was just like, first of all, I'm coming with a baggage now, and you're telling me to like find a guy, like,
Yeah. Well, that thing is like that won't go, you know.
yeah,
ये पीछा नहीं छोड़ता तो वो है.
that's true. That's true. Apart from this, there's one more thing I would like to like understand. So I've been actually testing this out with a couple of people that I've been sharing that have autoimmune.
हाँ.
They say, um, is there any emotions during your upbringing that you have withdrawn or withheld within you, like any sort of negative emotion that you can think? I don't want to name it as negative, but like something like sad, anger. Um,
Hmm.
you didn't share your opinions. You kept something inside you.
Yeah, I think that it definitely adds up to it. I feel like the environment where you have grown up, the like the family and the surrounding of you, whether it's your school life, like initial years, and otherwise like your college life and all. I think it definitely adds up to it. It definitely matters, and I mean, then I feel like we were not allowed to even share our feelings. That's what we've been taught. Like, like we used to just suppress our feeling because who would listen to you? Even our parents used to be like, Ki, matlab, this keeps on happening. You just have to deal with it the way it is. And we have never expressed what is happening inside ourselves, I feel. And that had definitely added up to it. And it just I mean, I feel like it just gets triggered and it just builds up and then like later on फिर इस तरह से बाहर निकल जाता है ऐसे मुझे लगता है. So yeah.
True, true. I
Yeah.
think we should ask the users, like, how many of you have heard or know of autoimmune? Like, have you heard, or do you go, or someone around you? So can you like write in the comment section below if you have ever heard the term autoimmune, know someone, or have, so we could really understand
Yeah.
like how.
But you know what, Shreya? Like there are some people who are being so hesitant about sharing it. It could be any reason. I feel like, but there are some people who are like, they think that I don't want attention. I don't want sympathy. Like most of this sympathy word is like, it's really highlighted, and I feel like that's really a wrong way of thinking it. Just because somebody else chooses to actually speak about it, that doesn't mean that the person is trying to gain sympathy out of it or anything. I think the person is already dealing with a lot, and all we need is just support and empathy. But that is the least what we are asking. But that is also very difficult to get especially in this generation. It's very hard.
I think
So yeah,
it's more, yeah, it's more the consideration. And people are like, okay, if you say you had something, oh, like,
yeah,
it's more of the fullness rather than like the sympathy. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry that you're dealing with something. And
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
need you to like know why I'm taking certain decisions, being okay with it, probably being considerate, so I don't feel like I don't have to already feel embarrassed from the situation I am
Yeah,
already in. I mean, we already have like flare ups, inflammations, whatnot.
so many things to deal with.
And
Yeah,
with autoimmune, it's like a whole body thing. So you have sometimes brain fog, you sometimes can't even like comprehend what someone is saying.
yeah,
And
yeah.
certain incidents where sometimes someone's sharing and it's like probably they call it like daydreaming, but your mind just cannot comprehend like, or it
Hard to
starts.
explain all of these things actually. And sometimes people think that okay, she has attitude, she's like showing attitude or something. They don't understand what I'm not showing attitude, I'm having something else going on in my mind. Yeah, but people don't understand that.
I feel like we are trained poker faces as well. Like whenever we get like inflammation or anything, it's like just keep a straight face. Don't even
Yeah,
react. Don't show like you're in distress. Nothing.
yeah,
The
that's true.
strength
And
it
I
takes.
feel like even if you try to show your emotions to people, right? I mean, the environment, like, it's like ऐसा लगता है कि हम उनको परेशान कर रहे हैं. So you just keep it to yourself. You're like, it's fine. I'm not going to tell it to anyone. I'll just deal it with the way I want to deal it. And that's what I do. I have stopped telling to people anymore, like, and I'm like, okay, it's good that way. It's fine.
Or make a big deal.
Yeah.
Like I realize sometimes
Yeah.
when you, oh, is it happening now? Is it? It's like sort of like an excitement. Like when I say I get triggered, it's like if I'm just quiet, is it happening now? Is it happening? What do you feel now?
Yeah.
Like it's not a joke of like I'm a toy.
Yeah.
Like just wait
Yeah.
on. Yeah. One thing, since you've been sharing a lot about what's been going on,
Yeah.
these like to ask, which is what do you miss? Like, what are the changes you have noticed from before and after, and you miss the most from yourself before to now?
Oh, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of things actually. I have always been an extroverted sort of a person, and I feel like I love dancing. I used to love participating in a lot of things, activities out there. But after my diagnosis, I feel like I have gone into a different zone, a different shell. I always think about protecting my peace, myself, and I don't want to argue with anyone. I don't want to talk to anyone. I actually, if people don't understand me, I just peace out. I find my way and I deal with it in a different way, and have stopped expressing myself is what I have I mean, currently that's what I am feeling. And apart from that changes, I feel like yeah, I mean, I've stopped going out because, as you know, that lupus, like UV rays are very very harmful for you and your skin. In my case, my skin has been affected, and touch wood, internally my organs are completely fine. And but yeah, otherwise I think my yes, so my skin is affected badly, my hair, my skin, and I am on immunosuppressants for that reason. But I feel like, so I don't go out, I am always completely covered up. I put a lot of sunscreen on my face, and like the exposed part, which is very very important. I feel even if you don't take the medications, that's still secondary, but sunscreen is very important. That's what my dermat keeps on telling me. And if you talk to other lupus warriors, they also would tell you the same thing, that sunscreen is the most important thing. It has to be there in your bag, and you have to reapply after every 4 hours. Yeah. So yeah, I have stopped going out, and usually I go in the night. I am eating early. I eat like at around like 5:30. I actually, like, by 7 o'clock I am done with my dinner. Then I sleep early. By 9:30 I go to bed. I sleep early. I wake up early. Yeah, these are the changes I have made, and I feel like all of these lifestyle changes are very important. It'll definitely help you in some or the other way. At least you feel that you're doing something good for your body, with that hope that everything is going to be normal. I do all of those things. I started praying a lot, and I pray a lot actually. I have especially after my diagnosis, I feel like I have I feel just there's only God and your mom, like your supportive friends, whoever are there in your life. I think they are the only important people, and rest all people don't matter to you. You should not let other, people's opinion trigger you. That's what I have learned. So yeah, these are the changes I've made so far. and it's good. It's helping me. I am just in my own different zone, and it's good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. You do you feel any effect from the prayers? Like it gives you that shell of positive vibes or
Yeah, it does. It does. Definitely it does. Because, like, I have even spoken to other lupus warriors, and they have also the same lookout on this. They also tell me that, only God can heal you. And I feel like I'm completely healed. I think God has definitely healed me. It's just, मेरे तक अभी तक पहुंचा नहीं है. You know, I will receive that blessings very, very soon. And I believe that every day. And I'm sure that I'm going to be completely fit and fine very soon.
even I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
So like God is obviously an energy. So when you like believe in such a positive energy, you just radiate it from inside out
Yeah.
naturally. Yeah.
And I
And
feel like this journey also it teaches you a lot, right? I mean, all this while I have had a really, a very nice life I have had. There were problems, but there were really like small problems. But now I realize, and maybe because of this thing, I realize that health is the most important thing more than anything. And I feel like all this while maybe I have ignored it in a certain way, and even like that's what I tell to other people also, that health is important. Okay, we ignore it, we focus more on career, making money, and all that is secondary. That is also important, I'm not saying it's not. But I think if your health is not doing well, I mean, क्या ही करोगे फिर उसके बाद, right?
yeah,
So it's better to, yeah, just priority has to be given to the health first and then other things.
true, true, true. I agree with that. Health comes first, then you had the energy to do the rest
Yeah.
of the things. And speaking
Because
of
if your health is like damaged in any other way, it has a lot of baggage to be carried with, like, the medications, the hospital visits, then the emotional trauma you're dealing with,
Mhm.
and I feel like it's not just you, your family members are also dealing with you because of you.
Yeah.
They are the ones who are paying your bills, they are the ones who are taking care of you, and you don't want to, I mean, it's not their fault, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that it's not even your fault, but then if this has happened to you, you have to look at the positive side of how you can get out of this. That is important.
True, true.
Yeah.
And like in terms of your procedure and treatment, have you tried medication and non-medication as well? And if yes, like how has the difference been like?
Yeah, so my dermat has actually tried some procedures on my face. Initially, she was a little hesitant about it because, she would not, I mean, that's true. Like, as I told you, that it has affected my skin. So we did not wanted any inflammatory reaction happening, on my, and it's my skin at the end of the day, it's my face. So she did not wanted to take any risk. So for like 1.5 years, she did not do anything on my skin. But then later on, yeah, she did some procedures on my skin, and they are very expensive, I must say, and they are very painful as well. Yeah, they are painful, but yeah, that's what she has told me. I don't see any much difference on it, but she has told me to do it couple of times for couple of months, and then maybe I could see the results. But that's the only option I have right now. Yeah.
All right. And speaking in terms of energy, did you ever feel like before this diagnosis you had more energy and compared to what you had now?
No, I feel like this energy after my diagnosis is way more different than what energy I had before my diagnosis. It is like something different. I started believing in myself so much. I feel I'm very strong. I feel like I'm a fighter, and I have stopped comparing myself with others. Before that, I used to always constantly, feel I was very insecure about my skin, and my hair and my everything, my body part. I was always like, I wanted certain type of body type and body part, and then otherwise I wanted like a lot of things. But I feel like now I have accepted myself like the way I am, and yeah, I've started believing myself a little more than before.
I think earlier we just get very picky about like the smallest things, and it's like,
Yeah.
what? Oh my God.
Yeah.
But
Like
now,
I remember before my diagnosis, even if I used to have one pimple on my face, I used to be like, oh my God, like what am I supposed to do? I used to try everything, like all the home remedies, which would work and all that. And now because of steroid consumption, my entire face is filled up with pimples and I can't do anything about it. I cannot stop, taking those medications. I cannot do anything about it. So I have made peace with it. that it's fine, because my dermat has also told me that once your steroid dosage, it's tapered down, then your face is start will start clearing. So you just have to be patient with this process.
True, true. And for people who see me and also go like, oh wow, I suffered with intense acne and I didn't have,
Yeah, you told me about it. Yeah.
wasn't those tiny little things that,
Yeah.
Bertie get. Mine were like big, like mountain big, and they were red because I had sensitive skin. They were like red, and I used to get it on my forehead, and it continued in my 20s till my 20s, and then I started getting on my cheek. That's when it freaked me out a lot, and then I was like, this is really scary, and I don't want to go to a dermat, because if I go to a dermat, it's super expensive. They'll give you
Yeah.
some
Yeah, for sure.
massive bill. It's such a short term solution because it's like a hormonal control. So like only for a week it's good, you're completely cleared, and then after that it's like again it comes. And one thing I have recognized, and I'm kind of proud of myself, is that no matter how much I had these acnes, I never shied away. I never was like, oh, this one puts me down. But when I came home or saw myself in the mirror, that's when it like started hitting me, because it's like till then you're like, I don't care about it, I'm fine,
Yeah.
I'm confident, I love
You know.
uh, you know just getting in it. But then once you come home and you see, you're like, who will like me for
That's
having this? And you see,
that's the thing, right? I mean, showing to people how strong you are, it's easier, I feel. Like बाहर जाते हो तो आप दिखाते हो कि yeah, I'm confident, like yeah, this is what I'm dealing with. It's very easy. I don't know. I also find the same thing. But when you're alone at home, there's nobody else, and that's when you actually in in your comfort zone, when you look at yourself in the mirror and all, that's where it triggers you a lot, and you do realize that okay, something is not right. But then you have to all, like, you have to gather up that courage, and then again be confident in front of the world. And that's what I also do, like just now what you mentioned, bahar jaake dikhana is, I feel it's easier and than dealing with it all by yourself alone at home. Yeah.
exactly. And I think that is one thing many people don't see. They're like, oh, you're like this, you're like that, or they
Yeah.
don't know how much effort you're putting
It
into, like,
was. Yeah, true, true, true.
I remember, like, I found a clinic that completely specializes in like skincare. And I was like, okay, I will go here and then check it. And that is when I saw like actual drastic change. And even the lady, she was like, I'm not going to give you a high dosage, I'll just give you a minute one. And within a month, it was already reducing. And I was like, oh, yay. And it gives a good understanding. One thing I rarely like speak about this is that when I went to that skin clinic, they don't only check your hormone. So they don't check like your ovaries, they also check your mind. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, they check a gland in your mind that actually secretes for the hormonal growth. So that when they were doing that scanning is when they realized that one of my ovary was bigger than my other one. So my right was a little bigger than my left one, but it
Okay.
was the CT. So they just like, yeah, this is the numbers, this is fine, and goes. So sometimes I was just like, if it was a clinically like uh, thought through, then it would have been like, okay, let's just check why is this happening, and maybe I could have got diagnosed back then itself.
Yeah, yeah.
At that age. So now when I think about that, I'm like, oh, that happened, but I just dismissed it as, it's normal. Girls have it like something's different. So
Yeah.
that's something which is considerably normal. But on the other end, I was happy that because of this clinic, the skin clinic, I could make out that it wasn't my ovaries or those hormones, but something from my mind that was secreting that was
Okay.
causing
Hmm.
acne to happen. Uh, yeah. If any, by the way, if any user wants to join the video, you can send a request below. Sayuri, you'll be fine with
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah, yeah, completely.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to join the video, you can send a request below. I think I saw in between someone like ask for a request.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so just letting you know. Since we were in the middle of the conversation, I didn't want to break the flow.
Mm-hmm.
Just kept it. Apart from this, another question that I would like to ask is, for us, like day to day life, we hear certain, we miss out on certain things. Like, there'd be certain activities and certain reactions or experience that happens.
Hmm.
So, what has been the toughest experience when you like had to go out and face like someone commenting, some reaction, something being considerate? It's been like a situation you realize a bit.
I feel like, there's a constant sense of judgment from people, especially when you don't look. I mean, if you look a different in a different way, and I obviously had that. But I feel like maybe that's why, when I decided to open up about my condition was because I did not wanted to let people decide what they want to. Like, looking at me, I didn't wanted them to, I wanted them to know that, yeah, I am having a condition right now, and that's why my skin is getting damaged. I wanted to be really vocal about it because I didn't wanted any other sorts of judgments, कि इसको क्या हो रहा है, क्या होता है, and all that, like that. So I was like, I let them know, like, by myself, कि okay, this is what I'm dealing with. Apart from that, yeah, man, I mean, I feel like especially for my skin and hair, a lot of people have said to me on my face, behind my back, and everything. But again, I feel like they don't know what I'm dealing with, right? I mean, I am trying my best to get recovery from this, and it's hard to deal with that constant sense of judgment amongst people. So that's the most,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. And then
And also, like, even like as you asked about the things which was difficult for me, I feel like I'm a medical student, and I feel like we have a lot of practical work to do, and it's all you who have to do all the work, and nobody else is going to help you. But yeah, that is a little difficult for you to make understand other people, that yeah, even your staff or your teachers. But I feel like you have to take help of higher authorities as well, tell them your situation, and I think they would definitely help you. They have helped me in my situation. Like, yeah, they have been extremely helpful. So yeah,
nice.
I mean, otherwise, if you don't tell about your condition, it's very hard to explain. So it's better to just let them know the reason, and don't be ashamed of it. It's fine. And it's not something you have to hide it. I mean, it's
Ex-
gonna be there in your body for the rest of your life, and how long are you going to hide it, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
better to just be vocal about it, and then there would be some people who would help you in this journey, and take
exactly.
help as much as you can, is what I've also told you in the previous video. I think take help. That's important.
Yeah, take help, love
Yeah.
yourself. And I mean, look, she's like completely accepted, shining outwards. So
Yeah.
nothing else matters then once you just love
Yeah,
yourself and feel that
accepting yourself is very important, and that's the most hardest part. I did not expect like accept myself from past for past 1 year. I was still in the hope that no, I'm gonna change myself, I'm gonna be. But now I've realized, I've made peace with it, that it's okay. I have lupus, and I know that I'm gonna live a life with lupus inside me, but I'll make sure that it goes into remission, and I can have a normal life like other people.
yeah, that is cool. And what is
Yeah.
your take on art and craft? Like, what is your, how do you feel? What is the experience when you do something around like art and creativity?
I love it. I swear I love it. I enjoy it. Yeah, that's what, like, when I was diagnosed with lupus, I was almost sure that, I want to create awareness about amongst people about it. I feel it gives me really, I feel happy. I love dancing also. And being creative is like, I love, actually, yeah, I have always loved making content uh, online. But yeah, I think it gives me a sense of calm, and I'm composed when I do that.
Right.
So I love it.
We should do a skit together, like a
Yeah,
very
I would love that. It's gonna be amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
always planning this and like speaking on.
Yeah. For that we have to meet. We are planning to meet soon, but yeah.
Yes, either one of us dropping by one of the cities,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And others who are available, you can comment below if you know anyone that is in your circle that has lupus or endometriosis. You can comment below. You can also comment that you have no idea what these two mean. We are
Yeah.
completely with like helping you out. If you have any questions, you can ask questions in the question bubble that is there in the third option next to the comment. And any questions you have for me, Sayuri?
Well, we have spoken a lot. I know everything about you. But yeah, I think you're doing a great job. I mean, you're creating a platform for people who can talk about it. Most of the people are ashamed, and because of whatever reasons, I feel I'm not judging anybody, but yeah, people don't talk about it, and you are giving a platform where people can, and it is like it's very confidential, right? And it's very important to create awareness amongst people. We are not different people, we are also as normal as them, but it's the only problem is like, yeah, we are fighting, like our life is a little different because we are fighting a certain conditions, but that's fine. Okay, and I don't want to get isolated, and I don't want to, like even in my head I feel like I don't want to isolate myself just because I have lupus. I was thinking in that way before, but now I don't want to think about it like that, and I don't want anybody else also to think in that way, that just because she has lupus or she has certain condition, that doesn't mean she's a different person and you have to isolate her. She's as normal as other people, so yeah.
Exactly. This is what even Sync looks at the third pillar, which is validation and consideration. So
Yeah.
having people like Sayuri share her story, maybe someone could feel like, oh yeah, I either can resonate with what condition she's going through, or
Yeah.
maybe that experience is tying a little similar. And for those who aren't, can at least have that open mindset of consideration. How can they be considerate? Because I feel like the word consideration is not much described in terms of like it means not, oh, I care for you, but how can you care for you? How can I show my support?
Yeah.
What can I do to that? So I'm trying to
Yeah.
break that barrier when I talk with the term consideration, because I'm not going and telling you, hey, go be considerate, go hug that person or something to make them, but it's more like what you can do. And I think that is also something normal people feel very hard, like what can I say, what can I do to show that I'm
Yeah.
compassionate, empathetical, but not coming off in the wrong sense. Because like I feel like in a space that we are living in, there's two things. It's either like I want to stay away from you because I don't want to deal with you, or second, it is like I say something and you'll feel offended, or it's like I'm just sharing something as a joke, but obviously someone going through that will not take it
Will
that way.
not take it as joke. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, probably if you had this, you're going to trigger and be full of shocks. Ha ha ha. And you're like, that's not.
The yeah.
Go to a
Yeah.
horror movie and you see this character like blowing up and like, hey, this must be how you feel inside. Ha ha ha. Like,
I know. Very insensitive people they are, I must say, if they would talk like this. Yeah.
yeah, but that's how we're grown up,
That's
right?
true.
Because as
That's true.
like, I don't know how to show considerate, so by joking around it, I'm creating a light and like saying
Yeah.
something. I feel like the best people roasting is only yourself.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, humor is fine. We can understand that. But if it comes from like good intentions, if it is in a way where they want to actually like, hurt you or something, then that is something we cannot take it.
Exactly, exactly. I think we are covered like pretty much a whole lot of things that I've noted down, like literally noted down some.
Okay.
So I think we have covered quite a bit what I could think of. Maybe in our next session, if you join us, we will give a little bit more explanation on what is
Yeah.
lupus, what is endometriosis for those who don't understand the two difference. The second part is this month is an awareness for psoriasis.
Psoriasis.
So
Yeah.
so if you know anyone or you're someone going through something like that, you can completely reach out and DM me. If you know anybody in your friend circle or family, anyone,
Hmm.
you can also share your handle with me in DM and just reach out. As you see, we just have a casual
Yes.
conversation. So I hope you had a great time, Sayuri.
I
Like,
did, I did. And I really want to say this thing also, that please be free to text us, to DM us, because don't be hesitant about it, and talk to us, because I know, like when you are having like tough time like this, you don't share it and you just deal with it by yourself, and it does is just aggravates your symptoms. It just makes your condition worse, and we don't want that to happen. There are so many of us, I swear. Like, after my diagnosis, initially even I was like, oh my god, like what is this, like I don't know how to deal with it, and like, it's very hard because you don't know. But then when I actually started posting about it online, and then when I actually had a group of friends who also similarly like had lupus and other autoimmune conditions, so I got a lot of support online. So I feel like there are so many people out there, so you don't have to worry about it. It's fine. Share as much as you can, and we all are there for you. So yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is a non-judgmental,
Please.
non-apologetic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
completely free, and you can always, even if you don't feel comfortable, you could just ring us up and
Yeah.
talk to us. If you feel I'm having anxiousness, you can do that as well. So always we are here to help you, to support you.
Hmm.
Do sing to your friends and family. Try sharing it across so it can help many more people understand what autoimmune is, because this platform doesn't focus just on one. Like I'm
Just
looking
one.
at,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
not condition, and there's so many that exist in India. Like I also remember when I had endo, the most biggest fear is you don't know how your future is.
Yeah.
All and you don't know
Yeah.
who you can talk to ask that as well. Like someone ahead in time. So having this space would really help all of us in coming out. In terms of support, yes, like Sayuri, I was asking art and craft, there is music, there's so many ways to look
So
out.
many
I
ways.
highlight on brands. So if you check my brand, in the highlights you can find different brands that can support you, that are gluten free, that are probably like doing a lot for like wellness. So you can check those out as well.
Hmm.
I also test these brands, okay, so I personally test them out as well. So you can try it out, you can see if it helps you or not. Just putting it out there. If you have any recommendations that you would like to like share, you can completely put that as well. So if your brand that's doing something around autoimmune as well, you can
Yes.
completely reach out. That's also something to look out for
Yeah.
support. So
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
yeah, and do you have anything more to say, Sayuri?
Yeah. I think I've said a lot of things pretty much. तो फिर yeah.
I
बस आप मैसेज करो, that's important,
Yeah,
for other people who, yeah, I feel, because even in our case, they like I have seen so many people who have been texting me, showing the reports, and all of those, and they are very anxious about it. They are very scared as to what will happen. Some of them are married, some of them have kids. They don't know what to do about it. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure that everyone will get out of it as much as we talk on this topic. That's important.
exactly. And this was a little like informal that we did. So once
Yeah.
we will talk more about our condition, like explaining what exactly our condition, and then probably how we deal with the mind space of it as well. What changes we did in our mind space and diet. So on the health part of it.
Yeah, we'll speak about it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So please do join us in our next live. I think this has been a great, great first live for both of us. Like it's first for me.
Yeah. First one, nervous, awkward. Yeah, but it has been a good one.
A good,
Fine. It's fine.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
we
we
tried.
will practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Peace.
So thank you everyone who joined us. You can DM your questions to us. We'll answer you, or you can join us in our next live. I will put out. And yeah, we are so happy. We are grateful for you being here and listening to us. And I
Yes.
be signing off. So take care. Have a lovely day, a lovely weekend, and stay beautiful. You matter, because that's what Singh says.
Yeah.
Everyone matters. Beauty matters. You
Yeah.
100%.
Everyone matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And take care and bye-bye. Bye. Thank you, Sayuri, once again for joining for this live and taking the time off. Yes, special shout out. If you haven't followed Sayuri, please go check her handle. I'll put it in the story so you can have a look.
Yeah.
And please do follow her. So take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye, Shreya.
Bye. I have to figure out how to cut this.